What's going on, guys? You know who it is. This is Joe Brennan from Strong Island Fitness. Sorry I haven't been able to get you guys a video. There's just been a lot going on. In terms of my chest, yes, I did tear it fully, and I also had a partial tear, so went to physical therapy for 4 weeks. It helped definitely a lot, and right now, last week I just started training chest again, very light, and just to get the muscles working again, and hopefully, within a few weeks I'll be good to go and we could really, push it. But the reason why I wanted to make this video is to tell you guys a little story. The story of look like Tarzan and play like Jane. Alright? So we're going to rewind a little bit. Played football 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, and I played my senior year. Now my 8th grade year I was 5'6" and 108 pounds. Okay, so I was very undersized, I was very weak, I got tossed around all the time, and it sucked. It really sucked. So after my 8th grade football season, my main motivator was just get as huge and as strong as possible. And so end of 2009, early 2010 is when I really started weight training, and I never looked back. I took it serious ever since. 5-6 days a week, busting my ass. I didn't really know anything what I was doing at first, but it helped. Come the next season in 9th grade, I was 130 pounds, an inch taller. And again in 10th grade I was about 150 pounds, another inch taller. So I kept making progress, and I was getting stronger and stronger. Before the end of my 9th grade year I was benching 225, so I definitely made some progress, but I still was undersized. I remember 11th grade I just decided to take the whole year off, just train to get as huge as I possibly could and grow and get strong. So come my senior year, leading up to the summer, we had these lifts we had to do in the morning. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, we had speed and conditioning for an hour and a half and weight training for an hour and a half. So it was 3 hours total. You had to be there at 6:45 on the dot in the morning. And after that, everyone was shot. No one wanted to do anything the rest of the day. I know me personally, it would literally take me probably 20 minutes to get to my car from the field, and it was not even a quarter of a mile away. Like, my shin splints were really bad, my back hurt like crazy, but I really didn't care. And after that, everyone went home, they fell right asleep, and they did nothing the rest of the day, because it was hard. It was really intense exercise. But for me, being as driven as I was and hell-bent on starting that year, that's all I wanted. That's all I had in my head. I just visioned it every day, starting, finally getting my shot to be on the field, right? So I went home, showered, I ate, and I fell asleep for 1 hour. I would set my alarm and wake my ass right back up and go to the gym down the road for another 2.5 hours. While everyone else was sleeping, everyone else was eating and watching TV, I was in the gym another 2.5 hours on top of that. Now looking back on that, that probably hurt me more than helped me, but I didn't care. I was just so driven on having that goal set in my mind. I asked my other teammates, come on, let's go to Retro. You guys want to make it big this year? You want to win the championships? Let's put in the work and shut up. No one wanted to do it. But I was there every single day. Okay? And I did that 6 days a week. So, come the end of the summer, we had the weight testing. I was a little over 200 pounds at the time, like maybe 205. I had a 340 bench, a real bench. I squatted 350 again for 3 reps, and this was a real 350 going parallel with a really bad back. And I military pressed 225 for 3, so I had put on a lot of strength, I had put on a lot of size, and I was probably one of the most muscular guys on the team. Not in straight size, but muscularity, I probably was one of the bigger guys. And I remember leading up before the actual season started, we had practices. And the tight end coach, I'm going to leave names completely anonymous here, he said, he wanted me to start a tight end. I was looking really good, that he could give the 2 linebackers a break who normally play tight end, and just throw me in an offense and really get some stuff going for me. And I was excited about it because I looked good in practice. I was aggressive, I hit hard. My back started to bother me again. It was really bad. The coaches would literally have to throw me out of drills because I couldn't walk, and I would refuse to get out of the drills unless they literally forced me out of them. I didn't care. I was so hell-bent on starting, I wasn't going to let anything whatever was wrong with my back stopped me from playing. I didn't care. So I was forced pretty much out for a few weeks, and at that point I was pretty much out of the mix. You know, my tight end starting just, you know, it was pretty much shot at that point, but I didn't care. You know, every practice that we played, every single one, from day one all the way to the day before we won the Long Island Championships, every single play I gave 150%. And there is not, and I'm not dissing anyone on my team, these guys worked really hard, but there's not one person that could say the same. Everyone took breaks at some point. When the coaches weren't watching, everyone wasn't giving 100%. They wanted to save their energy. I didn't care. And you know what? The guys that had to go up in front of me, they hated me because I never gave them breaks, ever. And I didn't care. You know, I wanted to start. I had this vision in my head, and I was going to let nothing stop me. So, you know, when we played and we practiced, every play, I just balls out, floored it in front of the person in front of me. And they hated me for it, but I didn't care, man. You know, I have that disgusting work ethic that when I put something in my head that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Now we're going to rewind back a little bit. And when I first started, you know, practice, and the coach was considering me to start, I remember him telling me, you know, Brennan, there's a lot of guys that look like you, big, huge, you know, muscular, really built, but they play like a bunch of pussies. And I always used to tell them, you look like Tarzan and you play like Jane. Are you going to be that person, Brennan? Are you going to look like Tarzan, but you're going to play like Jane? And I remember every practice he used to say that to me. And it resonated up here, man. It got me really emotional. Like it pissed me off in a good way. And if I ever see him again in person, I'm going to shake his hand and thank him, because he really started a fire that's something that I think about every day to this day. Okay? And I remember when my back started to get a little better and I was able to get back on right after, you know, my couple weeks off, I wasn't performing the way that I used to, right? I was still trying. I was giving everything I possibly could. I remember we were doing hitting drills and I just was not, like, I just couldn't do it. And I remember I just broke down into tears, and it was completely involuntary. I didn't feel it coming, it just happened. It was just the worst and hopeless feeling ever that, you know, you put in all this work, you know, you're outworking every single person on the team by a landslide. You know, again, no disrespect to them, but I would have died to be able to start that year. And you're just hopeless. You're just not going anywhere. It was a pretty shitty feeling. But regardless, I didn't care with my back injuries. No matter what happened, I still played 150% every single day, every play, every down, until we finished the season. And I still think about that, what that coach said to me to this day. Are you going to look like Tarzan and play like Jane? And that carried with me into bodybuilding. Okay, and every facet of life, really. So with every meal that I eat, every training session, every rep, every time I go into the bar, every time I have to sleep, take my supplements, remember, you know, that always carries in my head. Am I going to look like Tarzan but play like Jane? You know? Am I going to put on this persona to other people that I'm this big, powerful individual but not really do the work behind the lines when no one can see? So, something that stuck with me. It really stuck with me, you know, throughout all aspects of life, from bodybuilding to my studies, everything that really just carried with me. And it's something that I think about to this very day, and it's something that I'm going to take with me to the grave. And you all should take something away from that as well. You don't want to look like Tarzan and play like Jane. You don't want to go on social media and, you know, put out this persona that you're working so hard and you're doing this and you're doing that, but in reality you're not really putting in the work. So I think that's something that everyone can take away from this, is that you really want to put in 150% of your entire being into everything that you do in life. You only get one life. You don't want to waste it bullshitting people. You don't want to waste it, you know, not living to your full potential. So, I know for the rest of my life, I will never, ever just look like Tarzan, but play like Jane. Thanks for watching, guys.